8:38 exactly. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome back to the program. News and Views with me, Julie Ali, right here on Salam Media. Party leader of Al-Jama-ah, Mr. Ganief Hendricks, is online to talk to us about something pretty important. And I should imagine it's a big win for the Al-Jama-ah party. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the program.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, so we understand Matthews Posa has taken the lead in land reform for the ANC, and he has told the nation that the Muslim party Al-Jama-ah, in engaging with governing party, was the most constructive in bilateral discussions. So how did this play out? And it's looking really good for the Al-Jama-ah party, obviously.
Thank you very much. The ANC has invited all the political parties to bilateral meetings to discuss amendment to the Constitution with regard to confiscation of land without compensation. And it also invited Al-Jama-ah to a bilateral meeting. At this particular meeting, we put positions that captured the imagination of the ANC delegation. And as you know, that the ANC appointed Matthew Posa to take the lead because the previous subcommittee were considered to be a bit soft as far as land reform is concerned. So we put a very strong position on Waqf land, as you know, over 5,000 mosques. The land they are on Waqf. So we use the opportunity to explain to the delegation the importance of Waqf, and that whatever legislation is going to come out as a result of this amendment, that Waqf land must not be returned to the state like they did in Turkey when the Ottoman Empire all over the world, they then they did not say confiscated, but they took control of all Waqf land throughout the Islamic world. And we obviously rejected that position. And our delegation explained the importance of Waqf, and the ANC really appreciated it because they never had a clue that this is a matter of faith for Muslims. However, the main issue was that it looks like most political parties are not supporting the ANC with regard to the amendment to the Constitution, especially the EFF, because to amend the Constitution with regard to land reform, it requires a 2/3 majority. And the ANC needed the 40 votes of the EFF, or the 37 votes of the EFF, in order to get a 2/3 majority. And then doing the number crunching, they actually need 40 votes altogether to get the legislation approved. So the position of the EFF indicates that after 3 years of hard work, this amendment will not see the light of day. And Matthew Posa, when he spoke to the nation, he expressed his disappointment. And secondly, like you said earlier on, he felt that Al-Jama-ah's contribution was the most constructive. And our contribution was that maybe the EFF will agree to support the amendment if the ANC agrees to our proposal that the legislation that follows the amendment must also be passed by a 2/3 majority.
Okay,
So
let's
that,
just let's speed it up. We've got about 2 minutes to wrap up time. But in terms of Waqf land, mosques, madaris, maybe orphanages, homes for homeless people, etc. I'm sure that a lot of Muslim organizations have got such properties under Waqf. What about other, outside of the Muslim community? How do they then fare as far as land reform is concerned? Are we comfortable as Muslims that all the Waqf properties will be protected going forward? But at the same token, what is the position of landless and homeless people? So we're sitting in a good position, alhamdulillah. But what is the position of landless and homeless people? The whole idea of land reform is to make housing or land available for the marginalized community of our country.
yeah, that is exactly what this amendment is all about. In order to confiscate land that was wrongfully obtained and redistribute the land. In terms of legislation, and the steps will be in the legislation, and that must still be determined. So now it is up to NGOs and the news media to engage with everyone to come up with what steps must be taken. Number one, to decide which land is going to be confiscated, and then number two, how this land will be allocated, and how that will relieve the problems that you have just identified with landless people and homeless people and so on. So that will take another year. Once the amendment is adopted after September or rejected and legislation follows, then legislation will take another year. So it's not as if it is around the corner. If the ANC loses the motion to amend the constitution, then it will rely on the existing texts of the constitution, and like Matthew Posa said, then they will vigorously pursue that, because there is in the constitution provision for expropriation without compensation, and they will then just go forward with new legislation to get an administrator to confiscate the land, where at the moment it has to be the courts. Okay. So they want to remove the jurisdiction of the courts to fast track confiscation of land without compensation.
Right. Very quickly, a short answer. Alhamdulillah, as we speak now, so throughout the country, we should as Muslims be very confident that all property under Waqf is not going to be confiscated at all. That's all the hard work that you, party leader of Jama-ah, has put in to ensure that that does not happen.
Yes, we put a very strong position, and we are very confident that it will be taken into account, and that we've succeeded in persuading the governing party to ensure the protection of Waqf land.
Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah for all of your efforts, and we truly are grateful for all of the hard work put in. That was party leader of Jama-ah, Mr. Ganief Hendricks, talking about Waqf land throughout the country, inshallah, all being obviously protected going forward. 8:47 exactly when we get back. We'll be talking to Unati Sonwabile Henama.